Good morning and welcome to ONNtv's Mornings with LuAnn and Tim. He's Tim.
I'm Tim.
Feeling a little under the weather.
I got LuAnn. LuAnn gave me a cold for my. Hello. I can sing down. Kevin in our control room says that he sings with the barbershop. He says, I could use another bass in my Old Man River.
Oh, look at that! Yeah. It hurts when you cough, doesn't it?
It hurts when I think of you giving me this cold. No, actually, it's not that bad. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better. That's how my colds work. But I'm okay from here up.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, but good. Good. Awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Hey, today's a big day.
Today is multicultural. It's Canadian Multicultural Day.
It is.
So there's activities going on. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Bellevue Park at the bandstand, which is fantastic if you happen to be available to go down there between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. But if you're somebody who actually has a job or goes to school, happy Multicultural Day wherever you are that's not at Bellevue Park.
Right.
I don't understand the scheduling, but I don't know.
Well, it's a national multiculturalism day.
Yeah.
So maybe they have to do it on the day of.
I understand that. No, I understand the day of the week, but I'm wondering why it wouldn't be something that would extend beyond, like, kids get out of school at 3:30, don't they?
Yes.
So maybe you would do something in the, I don't know. Unless the schools are going down there from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., that would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Because they're going to have, there's going to be dancing and music and food, and it's all different cultures. I mean, that's what multiculturalism is. So, I don't know. I just was surprised that it was 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting.
But you know what? It's going to be a gorgeous day, so take your lunch brown bag and go down to the park.
Awesome idea.
That is a great idea.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Now I feel better about multicultural.
See, there.
But it's about the kids for me. I think the kids getting out of school.
Yeah, and it's good for them to learn about it, right?
Maybe, you know what? Maybe kids are doing things in the school for Multiculturalism Day. You never know. Maybe the schools have activities planned. You know, because our school boards are pretty good about stuff like that. So.
Yes, definitely.
Anyway, so if you have some time and you want to go down, it's going to be a gorgeous day. The band shell at Bellevue Park, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And there'll be representation from different cultures. And food. And performances.
It's always good to have food.
Yes.
Food is good.
We were in Sudbury on the weekend. We went to Costco and got one of those beef tenderloins, you know, the ones you buy for like
What?
It's like $113.
Really?
But it's beef tenderloin, and we got 8 huge steaks out of it. So we had
yum.
beef tenderloin and potatoes and fresh corn on the cob.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I know. I don't eat like that when Keith isn't home. So I'm glad that he's back.
So by the end of the month, you'll be like...
Yeah. If anybody in my neighborhood is watching this, so yesterday... We're filling our pool, and yesterday I get up early in the morning and I have to have a shower, and so I turned the hose off to have my morning shower so I could have more water pressure, and then I came to work, and I forgot to turn the hose back on, and I got home around, I don't know, 2, 1, I don't know, I went home for lunch at some point, and Mr. Bowser was in the pool, and he's like trying to get the bottom all like unwrinkled, right? Yes. As he thinks it's filling up. And I was like, oh, by the way, sorry, I didn't turn the hose back on. He looks up and says, what
the?
And he said, what? And I said, yeah, for about the last 4 hours, you haven't had any water going into the pool. I got in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
He didn't take my apology right off the bat. He forgave me. But anyway, guess what I did
this morning?
I had a shower and didn't turn the water back on again.
Keith, if you're watching.
He won't be. He's sleeping. So if anybody in my neighborhood, you know where I live.
Go turn it on.
Go turn the hose on and don't tell him that I forgot again. Just the gates I shouldn't say the gate's open.
Don't be saying the gate's open.
No, never mind. Everything's locked up.
Hey, you know what?
What?
I cannot believe how many awesome spots there are in this city to have wings. We had girls' night last night, and
That was a nice segue.
Thank you. Every second week, we go to a restaurant. So we went to Service Grill last night for the first time.
Oh, right around the corner here.
Oh my goodness!
Service Grill on Industrial Park Crescent.
Yes. My girlfriend had the deep fried ravioli.
Yes.
And the chicken wings are stupid good.
Really?
They're so yummy. Yeah.
They've been around now for a while, Park Grill.
And my one other girlfriend is gluten-free, so they made her a pizza, gluten-free, boom.
Wow.
And you know what? She loved it. It was just awesome.
Is it still, what's her name that runs Park Grill?
I don't know.
Wendy. Is it Wendy?
I have no
idea.
idea.
It was Wendy. Wendy, yeah.
Yeah.
She has a huge background in hospitality and food service, and it was her. That was
What a great little spot.
It is. It's really cool. If you haven't been, you feel like you're in a garage, kind of.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. It's sort of dinerish.
Stainless steel, kind of dinerish, kind of. Yeah.
It's
really
very cool. Yeah. It's a wonderful spot. You know what? Just before we got to Air 2, I have to talk about something that's kind of sad. I was looking on Twitter, and people in North Bay are a little bit concerned because there's this little deer that people have photographed, and it has a metal hoop around its body. They can't figure out how on earth that happened.
It was trying to hula hoop and got stuck.
Stuck it. So they're concerned because a whole bunch of things. It's mating season. If she gets pregnant, she's not going to be able to carry the baby. If she doesn't have that thing removed, she's not going to be able to eat enough over the summer to sustain herself through the winter months.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, how on earth did she get this? And it looks like it's about that thick, and it's around her torso, and it's tight. The poor thing must be just, so the MNRF is looking into it.
Maybe she had bariatric surgery.
But they forgot to put it inside.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. The poor thing.
So they're going to put her, are they going to dart her and make her?
They're trying to find her again.
Oh, she's not, oh.
Well, no, yeah, because she's wild,
she's
right?
a wild deer.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I can't wait to hear what it is.
That they got.
That thing is around her, and how on earth she got it.
Well,
you know,
I don't
right?
know why deers run through things and they jump through things. Maybe maybe it was a circus deer.
Maybe it was a circus deer.
It was a deer that
The circus deer has a plan of her own. She doesn't need no stinking MNRF to help her get that thing off.
It's a stunt.
Yes, she's gonna sit in a bush and just go, yeah, you know what? Watch this, people. Watch me go here.
Maybe it's a deer diaphragm.
Oh, yes, around her yes.
I don't know, LuAnn.
I know you don't.
You don't warn me about these stories that you tell, and I don't know how to respond to a deer in a hoop.
That's why I do them.
A deer that got hooped.
A hooped deer.
That's sad.
As we discover more, for animal lovers like yourself, that's sort of a little concerning.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, what can the matter be?
Oh,
Bambi got hooped and now her bladder free. No one. Can we go to commercial?
Could we please get him off the air.
Yesterday. Okay, so never mind. Well, we'll talk after this commercial, and I'll tell you what's going on the show this morning. But right now, stay tuned for more Mornings with LuAnn and Tim and updates on the deer in the hoop. Right after this.
The hooped deer.
Welcome back to Mornings with LuAnn and Tim. I've sent LuAnn off into the bush to look for the deer with the hoop around its waist. And I'm going to stay in the studio and take over the show and hopefully bring things back down to a level of normalcy and professionalism. Just kidding. Anyway, yesterday I went with our cameraman and producer Mike, and we went to Arch Hospice. I had never been before. I'm very familiar with the work that they do and the services they provide, and I'd heard from so many people in the community who've had loved ones who've passed while being cared for at Arch. What a remarkable place it is, and what a special place, and the feeling that you have when you're there. And so we went to check it out, and boy oh boy, we are so fortunate in this community to have that kind of care being provided for people who are passing on, ready to move on to the next level. Whatever your belief, whatever faith you have, this facility is absolutely incredible, and take a look for yourself. We'll roll the footage that we have from our visit to Arch yesterday when I spoke to Lee Rendell. This is my very first time at Arch Hospice, and I am so impressed with this facility It's Lee Randall is here with me. What is your title, Lee?
I manage fund development.
Well, we've had you on the morning show before as a guest.
Yes, it was
and
an honor.
I thank you for hosting us here today. Lee is actually willing to host anyone who wants to come and check out Arch Hospice. This is you're calling this a
You know what? It's the community's hospice. We want to give a chance for the community to really see it.
So it's an open house, basically?
Open house, public tours, however you'd like to call it.
If you call the hospice and make an appointment,
Yes.
you can come out here and check out the facility. The stories that Lee has are just so inspiring about the community efforts that have gone in to create this amazing place.
We could not have done it without every single person in Algoma. $3.1 million is what it took.
Everywhere you turn in this place, something has been donated, or there's a volunteer doing something, or you hear a story about someone who's given their time or their talents or their I was in one of the rooms, and the cabinetry
Yes.
was donated. The product, the actual
Wood.
the wood product, was
And we
donated
had
by
a
a
volunteer. We had a
And then-
volunteer that actually was an expert cabinet maker. Came in and made custom cabinets for
on
every
his own
single one of the
time,
rooms.
as his donation, as his way of giving back.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. The design, the furniture, the furnishings, the artwork, everything is just, it's tranquil, it's bright, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, we really try to make everyone feel comforted when they're here.
So, and one of the reasons why Lee is asking, and the volunteers and the management at Arch asking that you call in advance to book a tour, is out of respect for the residents, because people are living here, and this is their home. So you don't want to just intrude. They want to be able to time your visits out and make it comfortable for everyone. But really, it's worth the drive out here to Fourth Line to check this out.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you're first blown away by the property,
Yes.
the landscaping, the gardens, the stonework, the walkways, patio spaces, outdoor living spaces. Stunning.
There's so much healing that can come from nature. So if you actually experience the grounds, all the walkways and that are done so that the beds and the wheelchairs can actually access the grounds, and they can actually experience the full outdoors and all of the beautiful gardens that our volunteers work so hard to maintain.
When things like that, thinking about things, I'm not in this field, so I wouldn't know about the idea of taking an actual bed and being able to bring it outside to enjoy. That's incredible. That's all design.
It's all design and experience. The great thing is we were able to be open for about 8 years before we undertook this expansion. So we were able to really see how people use and experience the space.
So you showed me originally their two wings that were the original building, and now presently this is the pediatric suite.
Yes.
So this is the latest. You've been excited about this. This has been a long time coming.
This is so important. Prior to having this suite, we were offering pediatric care, but it wasn't the Cadillac in terms of we'd actually have to go into one of our existing rooms and modify it for a family and a child, and it was much smaller. So we really didn't have the ideal setup for the parents and the step-parents and the siblings and all of the family members that come when a family is going through such an unfortunate time. So this suite, we're actually able to offer a pull-out bed for sleeping over, a dining set, and then there's a room across the hall for additional sleepover space.
What you're seeing right now is only about a quarter of the space in this beautiful suite, and we'll get some footage for you to show you the rest of the room. The windows, as you say, there's room in here. There's a dining table for four, a pull-out couch, and the bariatric bed. Now that's a very specialized bed. Can you talk about that a little bit, Lee?
Yeah, so one of the things about being able to offer really the ideal set for pediatric palliative care was getting what's called a bariatric bed, which can accommodate the parents, which will often be in bed with the child. But the great thing about that is that not only are we widening all of the doorways and that for the bariatric bed, but when we don't need it for a pediatric resident, we can offer people that need that larger bed this space.
Right, and then so there's this space here as part of the pediatric suite, but also across the hall there's another room that's dedicated for the families, another which provides more space for sleeping over.
Yeah.
So in case mom and dad want to sleep in here, and perhaps brother and sister or something, or
Exactly.
grandma, grandpa, there's room for them as well.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful playroom
what would you call that? The children's
playroom.
The children's
like
playroom.
Kids be kids, right? They can customize the lights.
Lights in the ceiling are all customized. So if a girl wants the room to glow pink or if a boy wants the room to glow pink, whatever colors they want, they can set the lights and it's themselves. It's kid friendly, so they can learn to set the lights themselves and color toys, games, books,
gaming systems,
stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Great playroom space. And then this other area that I want to go to actually when we leave this room. What's it called in the new wing? The big
garden room.
The garden room with the floor-to-ceiling windows, and people will save it. We'll tell them the different kinds of activities you do in that room.
Oh, we're going to save it? Okay.
I want to save it till we're in the room so you can explain the kinds of things that happen in there and the requests you've had. That's a huge part of this too, Lee.
The wish fulfillment.
The wish fulfillment.
Yes.
That people can come here and they can say how, they can determine how
every moment matters. Every single moment matters, and sometimes the wishes are small, and it's, I want my family recipe for lasagna. I'd love to have lasagna tonight, but sometimes they're big. We've actually had 5 wishes for weddings.
Wow.
So we've hosted 5 weddings here.
Amazing.
We've had baptisms, christenings, big musical performances.
All held here.
All held here.
Because this is their home, and you bring everything to them, and you have the facility now because Sault Ste. Marie came out and raised
3.1 million on top of the 750,000 that we need each year to keep our doors open. I've said it a few times now, we truly live in the best community, and I don't think anyone, after experiencing working here for the past 6 years and the amazing dedication of our 150 volunteers and all of our donor support, I just love Algoma. I love Sault Ste. Marie, and it warms my heart.
So come and see what we're talking about. Call Lee here at Arch. What is the phone number, Lee?
705-942-1556, and you can talk to Alex at extension 202.
And that's to set up your tour of Arch.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to be in a different room. We're going to go to the garden room.
Yeah.
And we'll set up there and finish the interview there. And on the way, I think Mike might want to get some footage of some of the other beautiful spaces you have in this. Just absolutely phenomenal. And I want to get some of the outdoors as well. So we'll be back. And then we're going to do a whole half hour, you and me, on Arch. And we're going to bring the camera back and do a bigger tour and do a whole half hour because the programming that you offer, the resources that you provide, absolutely incredible. And the staff. We need to talk about the staff you have here too. All right.
Amazing team.
But stay with us. We'll be right back with more with Lee Rendell at Arch for their open house week here in Sault Ste. Marie. And stay tuned. More with Mornings with LuAnn and Tim right after this. We're back with Lee Rendell, and actually we decided to come outside of the garden room and actually appreciate the garden. This is one of many beautiful outdoor areas here at Arch Hospice. Beautiful landscaping, as I mentioned earlier in our segment. And behind us, you can see these beautiful floor-to-ceiling windows. This is the garden room behind us.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned weddings. You've actually had people married here at Arch.
Yes.
So that your residents can attend a wedding? Or be married?
Well, it's part of our wish fulfillment. So sometimes the request is to be married or renew vows. Sometimes it's to see their daughter or granddaughter or son or grandson married. And we really try to latch onto those moments and make them happen for
Those
families.
have to be incredible moments in that room behind us.
They're absolutely beautiful. They're so powerful. We've had musicians, musical performances, baptisms, christenings, family reunions.
Family reunions. What about birthday parties and stuff? Do you do that in places like that? Okay.
Always.
Because I know you also have a smaller private dining rooms where you could do dinners with your family and that for smaller gatherings. But
oftentimes the weekends and evenings we'll see both rooms booked up.
Wow.
When they're not being used by our families, the great thing is we can use them for our community training initiatives.
Now that's something I didn't know about this. Talk about the Fridays.
So right now it's actually in a wrap-up session. We teach a course called Palliative Fundamentals where we actually try and show the community what palliative care is. Our volunteers and staff will attend, but there's a lot of community members that are just interested in learning
to learn about palliative care and what's involved.
Yes, we also have, we offer specialty courses to care providers. Nikki Apostle, Dr. Apostle.
I just saw her walk in the door. Dr. Apostle, born and raised in Sault Ste. Marie, has come back to practice medicine, and she's specializing in palliative care.
Yeah, she's one of our amazing palliative physicians.
Fortunate to have Nikki around. She's a beautiful soul.
Oh yes, and she's, what we're trying to do is specialize on certain topics in pain and symptom management. So that's more for nurses and physicians.
So would Nikki come in and talk to?
That's what she's doing today.
She's doing training.
Yes.
With your staff.
Yes, not only our staff but community at large too.
Community at large also.
Yeah.
You do all this stuff here.
Yes, and grief and bereavement happens in that space. So we have actually 4 groups right now that are happening.
Is that grief and bereavement? Is that a group, like almost like a group therapy sort of thing?
Exactly. But different styles suit different people.
Right.
So art therapy might work for one group. A walk and talk might be better for another group of people.
This is something else that I've gathered from you as we've been talking today, is how specific and individual and geared to everybody's personal needs.
Yes.
What you provide here.
Yeah.
It's really on a resident basis. It's very human. It's very human.
You know what? End of life there is no more human experience than that, and you really get to see the best of humanity when you're here. I feel blessed every day that I'm here, and to be able to provide moments to our residents, to the community, it really is so rewarding.
So if you are interested in coming and experiencing this really remarkable space, please, this is their open house till Friday.
Yes.
And we are asking that you please call in advance to make an appointment out of respect for the residents who are here.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, just by experiencing this, you are going to look at this a whole new way. I had heard of Arch. I'd heard reports from people who've been fortunate enough to say farewell to their loved ones in this environment, and they say that you will never feel the same way again about this facility, that you'll always stand in support of it and do whatever you can. And I mean, that is obvious from the volunteerism and the story about the contractors who were working on.
Yes.
Was that the new section that you were working on?
Yeah, so that was part of expansion.
Part of the expansion.
So in 2017, in June of 2017, we announced our successful bidder for the project, which was Paul Jobs.
Okay.
And right away, we had a request for a change order, and we all kind of went,
because a request for a change order from a contractor normally means
paying money.
The price is
lots
going
of money,
up.
Lots of money.
Because time has passed since the original quote was given, and now things are more expensive, and so generally a change order can mean more money.
Yes.
What did it mean this time for you guys?
It meant actually saving money. He asked to use our space to meet so that he didn't have to rent a trailer.
Apparently my phone is ringing. That's probably a volunteer calling right now to offer their services. Let me just say, I'll take a message on that one. So Paul Jobs came in and said, if you give us a space to meet, $4,000 off the cost, and you can spend that money on
resident care and supplies. Yeah.
See, that's the kind of spirit that you feel everywhere you go in this building.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And the kitchen facilities,
yes,
like world class.
I know.
He was, what's his name? Sorry,
Tom, our chef.
Chef Tom is in there cooking up a storm. And he makes everything fresh every day. Homemade recipes.
Baked goods.
And you said volunteers bring in baked goods.
They actually come right here and bake them on site so that the whole building smells like, we call it the Arch 15 actually. When you start working or volunteering here, you tend to gain some weight because when the whole place smells like fresh cookies and you're getting your coffee.
Listen, I do hope you take advantage of the generous offer to come out and check out the facility.
Yes.
And if you want to find out more, is there a website?
Yeah, you can go to archhospice.ca or just give us a call or come by. You know what, we love to show this off to the community, because without the community it wouldn't be possible.
All right. Leah Randell, thank you as always for your time. And we are going to come back and do a full feature on Arch later. But for now, we're going to say farewell from Arch and go back to the studio live with Mornings with LuAnn and Tim. And maybe we'll just go get a coffee and wander the grounds a little bit.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Okay. Stay tuned for more right after this.
Yes, Yesterday, the members of Local Union 2251 voted to ratify the tentative Memorandum of Agreement. A news release from President Mike DePratt indicates the members accepted the agreement by 76%. There was a 55% turnout to vote. Summer means construction. Work on the Fort Creek Aqueduct reconstruction project will close part of St. George's Avenue from Wellington West to Huron starting today. All businesses and residences will remain accessible. MP Terry Sheehan was called to an urgent meeting by the Standing Committee on International Trade yesterday. The meeting was held to discuss the impact of tariffs on Canadian businesses, companies, and workers. Sheehan was invited to participate in the meeting because of his familiarity, of course, with the topic and his knowledge and experience on this file. Sheehan said yesterday's meeting garnered valuable information from diverse stakeholders. Sheehan was able to ask questions and receive input from labor groups and manufacturers and producers. The committee expressed its support for the Canadian government's retaliatory tariff measures and supports action to continue working for improvements to the North America Free Trade Agreement and the World Trade Organization. 7 Conservative MPs plan to spend the summer traveling the country in search of ideas on how to best protect the economy and jobs from crippling tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump. They're calling it the Defend Local Jobs Tour, and it will start in July and run through August. The MPs intend to meet workers, businesses, and labor groups to get ideas on how best to shield the economy from steep American tariffs on steel and aluminum and Trump's threat to extend those tariffs to automotive imports as well. The TD Bank has estimated that 160,000 Canadian auto jobs could be lost if Trump follows through on that threat. All federal political parties have adopted a united front in the face of Trump's protectionist measures, rallying behind Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's decision to impose $16.6 billion in retaliatory tariffs on U.S. products coming into Canada, and that is going into effect on Sunday. But Conservatives and New Democrats have both criticized the Liberal government for failing so far to offer measures to support Canadian workers affected by the tariffs. A new report released yesterday found that unpaid caregivers of seniors with dementia are more likely to experience distress and spend more time providing care compared with caregivers of other seniors. The report by the Canadian Institute for Health Information highlights various challenges, including those faced by unpaid caregivers. Most seniors with dementia in Canada live at home and obviously need support to do that, which is why the role of unpaid caregivers is so important. Children and spouses most commonly take on the role of caregiver of seniors with dementia, 58% and 32% respectively. 45% of caregivers experience distress compared with 26% for caregivers of other seniors. Unpaid caregivers of seniors with dementia spend an average of 26 hours a week providing care compared with 17 hours for caregivers of other seniors. Post Media is closing 6 small-town newspapers and cutting print publication of 4 more, as well as cutting about 10% of its workforce. The company said 2 papers in Alberta and the Kapuskasing Northern Times, Ingersoll Times, Norwich Gazette, and Petrolia Topic will all close in Ontario. It will also stop printing The Graphic in Manitoba and the Northern News and Pembroke Observer. The publisher will continue to print free weekly publications, though, for the Herald Leader in Portage la Prairie, Kirkland Lake Northern News This Week, and the weekly Pembroke News. It will also reduce the printing of the High River Times in Alberta from 2 days per week to weekly now. The company also announced a staff reduction targeting 10% of salaries across the newspaper chain by the end of August. Last week, ONNtv heard from Sensei Chris Trock about the devastating damage done to his business, the Sault Ste. Marie International Karate Daigai-ku, in a residential fire. The results were heartbreaking for parents of children and young adults with special needs. One of the parents said the kids were able to be tested, though, Monday night at Holy Angels School. A GoFundMe page to raise money to restore the equipment and services has exceeded its goal now of $5,000. The total was at $5,275 as of yesterday.
Welcome back to Mornings with LuAnn and Tim. LuAnn is back from the wilderness.
From the wilderness.
Did you have any luck looking for the deer?
No,
what have you come back with?
I actually used a deer call that my dad taught me when I was young, and it didn't really...
A deer call?
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like a duck, doesn't it? I don't know. There's no such thing as a deer call.
There's a deer call. Moose.
My dad probably was just trying to shut me up.
LuAnn.
Just practice this for 100 hours.
So you didn't catch many deer out of Espanola with that deer call of yours? Deer call.
Deer call. I bet there's such a thing. We should research that. Anybody hunts? Call us.
If you have a deer call. There is a deer. Someone just said, I heard through the wall. There's a deer.
See? Nah. Told you.
What if deers don't make sounds?
Yes, they do.
They do?
They go.
Do they do that?
Yes.
Do it again.
And their head goes up.
Wouldn't it be funny if right now the door opened and a deer came walking in our studio? And it was
the one with the thing around it.
Where was that sighted?
In North Bay.
You said that?
Yes. So yeah, poor thing.
Stop. Okay. Hey, what are you doing on Canada Day? I'm changing the subject now.
I am so sleeping in. That's what I know for sure.
It's on Canada Day Sunday.
Monday. No, Sunday, you're right.
No, July the 1st is Sunday.
Yes, it is.
And then Monday is the holiday because it falls on a Sunday.
I'll probably sleep in, and then the second I open my eyes, I'm going to start drinking.
Oh.
Happy Canada Day to me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. I might head down to the Roberta Bondar Pavilion. That's always fun down there on Canada Day. They have entertainment, and we'll know more about that this week because Rick Borian from the city is coming in to talk about what events are happening. We're going to have him on the morning show this week, and he's going to tell us about what the city is actually doing for Canada Day. But normally it's a lot. I've hosted that in the past, and there's a lot of fun.
So. It's all day.
It runs all day,
right
and it's free. I mean, everything is free down there for Canada Day.
You need to go. Absolutely. You know what?
When are the fireworks there? Do they still do them off a barge or whatever?
Yes. As far as last year, anyway.
Okay, because we do our own.
Yes, and we're going to be there on location doing live hits.
Oh, well, we are not.
No, we are not.
Because I am going to be at my house and
to.
Keith is setting off the fireworks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so that should be interesting.
He keeps Fat Boy in business.
All right. That boy loves Keith.
They do.
You know what else, too? I was just reading a news release from the OPP. And be careful this long weekend because they're going to be out there.
Oh, for ride programs and
yeah, I'm going to do a quick news story for later on today. They talk numbers and what the biggest culprits are, like speeding is generally a problem, drinking and driving,
and texting, distracted driving.
Yeah, those are big ones, and I'll actually have some numbers to crunch with you. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay safe on the long weekend.
You know what? It's not worth it. It really isn't. I mean, if you're going down the line to Echo Bay and visiting friends, stay overnight.
It's the Monday's a holiday.
Absolutely.
Spend the night.
Sleep in the car.
Sleep in the car, but take the keys out.
Yes, because then you wake up and you think you're sober.
Not just that, but also even if you're sleeping in a vehicle, if the keys are in, you're still considered in carrying control. So
what? Really?
If the keys are in the ignition and you are in the driver's seat, even if you are asleep and the car is turned off, if the keys are in the ignition, you are considered in carrying control.
So,
get in the back seat, get in the passenger seat.
I was going to say, so if you're lying down in the back seat,
take the keys out of the ignition. Just
So
don't have
even
the
if
car.
you're lying in the back
Well,
seat?
I'm not. I think if you're lying in the back seat, you're okay. But the car shouldn't be running. And why would you
No,
leave the keys
God,
in
you
the ignition
wouldn't.
anyway?
No.
It's better if the police come up and you're intoxicated. It's better that they find you nowhere near the driver's
Exactly.
steering
That makes
wheel with
sense.
keys in the ignition.
Take them out, put
Take
them
them
under
out,
the
put
driver's
them,
seat,
put them
go
away,
lay down
lock
in the
yourself
back.
in, and sleep in the back of the car.
It's like we've done that before or something.
No,
We know
just
all
because
the
I
little
learned all these
details.
tips when I was working with public health and all the things about staying safe and just to reduce the harm of drinking and driving, the thing,
Yeah.
and the laws. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
care
know
and
what, the
control.
harm and the laws.
Get the keys out of there.
Yeah, and you know what? It's such an important thing. Any party, of course. It's a matter of just planning ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay, who's going to be the DD? If nobody wants to be the DD, okay, where are we staying? Because we're not driving drunk. So how are we going to handle
Or you
it?
get driver's seat. I mean, you hire driver's seat
Yes,
to do it,
yeah.
or
Take a
you
cab
take
home.
a taxi.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Bus transit isn't very helpful when it comes to reducing drinking and driving because the buses stop quite early and on Canada Day. I don't even know what the buses are on Canada Day, as a matter of fact. That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, we'll do that for you too.
So anyway, yeah, just stay safe this long weekend because you want to make sure you're around to celebrate Canada Day for years to come with your family and
Absolutely.
yeah. So now we're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, we have a really interesting interview coming up that Riley Smith did with Malcolm White from the city. So I'll introduce that clip coming up after this break.
Sounds good.
But we'll be back with more Mornings with LuAnn and Tim right after this. Stay with us. I'm calling here. So Monday, October 22nd is the day that we are having our municipal elections here in Sault Ste. Marie, and that's also for school board trustees. So to get ready for that, we thought we'd bring you some information that Riley Smith got from Malcolm White. Malcolm is the Deputy CAO for the City of Sault Ste. Marie as well as the City Clerk. And so Riley asked Malcolm to come in, and he stopped by the studio yesterday. We wanted to find out about now that it's official, the reduction of wards from 6 to 5, and also the reduction of city councillors from 12 to 10 that'll be around the table next year after the October 22nd elections. And just a reminder also that you can check now to see if you're on the voters list for those municipal elections by going to voterlookup.ca. And you can also check with MPAC. But voterlookup.ca, and that'll help you find out if you're on the voters list. And if you're not, then you got to get a hold of Malcolm White down at the city clerk's office and get yourself on the list. Anyway, let's take a look at the footage from that interview that Riley Smith did yesterday with Malcolm White from the city, talking about the new breakdown of the wards for the municipal election coming up on Monday, October 22nd. Here we go.
I'm here in the studio today with Malcolm White, the Deputy CAO and City Clerk here in the City of Sault Ste. Marie, and he's here to share a little bit of insight about the changing ward boundaries that are in place for this upcoming election.
That's right.
So originally, or since 2014, I think, we've had the six wards, right?
We've had 6 wards for a long time.
Longer than that?
Yeah.
And we've now switched to a 5-ward system.
That's correct.
So how does that affect the voters?
It affects both council and the voters in the following ways. We have had a 12 councillor, 1 mayor council, so 13 members overall up until now. We're going down to 1 mayor and 10 councillors, so we'll have an 11-member council.
Right.
And those 10 councillors are spread over 5 wards, so 2 per ward. So it is a change to the community. We've had 6 wards for quite a long time. But council did feel that they needed to change the composition of council, and in the end decided to reduce their membership by 2 members. And they felt it was best to structure that as 2 councillors per ward over a 5-ward system.
So how was the decision made? Was it based on population or geographical area, or a combination of both?
There's a few parameters that you have to look at when you're redrawing wards. Certainly population is a major one. It's a prime one. You do try and get as best you can as close to an equality between the wards. However, there are other parameters that you do have to take into consideration. So you are allowed a variance of how close you come to the average or
Right.
the mean. And generally that is you can be either 25% up to 25% over or 25% under the average amount of voters per ward. Some of the other things you need to look at are communities of interest or neighborhoods, trying to keep them whole. Looking at kind of the historical development
Right.
of the community, geographic features or major roads or arteries, and certainly looking at future growth of the municipality and trying to keep all of those things balanced.
And when was the last time that the ward system was changed?
The ward system hasn't been changed for a long time. There has been over time adjustment
Right.
of the ward boundaries to take care of differences in population growth amongst the wards. So
Right.
the last time the ward boundaries were changed was for the 2000 election.
Right,
So about
okay.
18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of how people are going to vote, essentially, like what voters need to know, citizens of Sault Ste. Marie need to know is it's essentially the same thing. They're going to vote for 2 councillors in their
That's
ward.
right. It's just that what ward they're going to be in may have changed.
And how can they find out what ward? Is this information all on the city website?
Certainly we have some of the information up there now. Certainly we have ward maps, and or people can call our office and find out. As we get closer to the election, we'll be adding some interactive features to the website that people can just put in their address and just confirm which ward they are in, so that they can pay attention to the candidates for that specific ward.
Right. So ultimately, all the information will be available before the upcoming elections.
That's
so
right. The voting day for this election is October 22nd, so we've still got a fair amount of time for that, and we are working on a number of communication tools to make sure people know what the new ward is that they may be in.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Malcolm, for sharing that information with us. And don't forget that voting, or this upcoming municipal election, is in October, and it's never too early to start looking into candidates and figuring out where your ward boundaries are. We'll be back with more news.
And welcome back to ONNTV's Mornings with LuAnn.
And Tim.
He's been rehearsing that
I was
for days.
practicing that. I wanted to do that.
Yeah, you did good.
Thank you. I didn't run
Right
over your
on.
toes, did I, Mama?
No, I'm
All
fine.
right,
Really,
good.
I'm fine.
So, it's going to be a lovely day.
It is.
The weather outside is lovely. And what are your plans for the rest of the afternoon? Yeah.
I'm going to do a couple of interviews, and then I'm going to
okay.
update some news, and then I'm going to go home for a nap,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to eat some dinner.
Good for you.
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm going down to the Art Gallery of Algoma, and we're going to film an episode of On Point down there to find out what's going on with the Art Gallery, and find out also about the issues they're having with their wall. They have an exterior wall that's been leaking, and it eventually the entire exterior wall of the Art Gallery will need to be replaced. So they're doing a GoFundMe campaign. So we're going to go down there and shoot a half-hour episode.
You just spoke to somebody from the art gallery.
Yes, Yasmina Jovanovic was in the
Yes.
studio just the other day.
And was she talking about that stuff, or?
She did. She talked a little bit about it, but we're going to go more in depth
More in
into what
depth.
the issues are with the structure, and also just talk about what exhibits they have in there right now.
Yeah.
It's a
Awesome.
beautiful space. So
It is.
And summer programming, we're going to cover that as well.
And you know what? It's a concern because they have storage, but they're concerned things are going to get damaged.
Well, they have $11 million worth of artwork in that art gallery, and with that kind of stuff, and you talk about climate control and moisture control,
Yes.
and you can't be having mold issues or moisture
No.
issues where the art is being stored. So they're looking at a lot of infrastructure work. But the good news is we're also there's an arts and culture focus right now going on in Sault Ste. Marie, and so there are some major projects that can get funded over the next 3 years, and it looks like the art gallery may be available for some funding as well from the
good.
from the government. So
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Funding.
And also, don't forget, it is Canadian Multicultural Day,
Yes.
so head on down. If you've got some time, it's a gorgeous day. Get down to Bellevue Park between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. and enjoy the celebration and the beautiful multiculturalism that we are now celebrating in Sault
Bring
Ste.
your bag
Marie.
lunch.
Or eat down there. There's food down there and
There's
entertainment.
a ton of food. All kinds of different cultural foods.
And we'll be back tomorrow on
Yes, we will.
Mornings with LuAnn and Tim with a whole new day. And enjoy the rest of your day today, and we'll see you then tomorrow morning on Mornings with LuAnn and Tim. Bye, my friend.
Bye, my friend.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, my friend.
Bye, friends.